I was not gonna film this video, y'all. I could not get the lighting right, and I still don't have the lighting right. Clearly, I am new to, content creating, lighting, and all the things, and it'll get better over time, but just bear with me. I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do the video, but then I was like, no, I can't be defeated in this moment. It doesn't have to be perfect. Girl, do the video. So here I am, highlighting my move to Atlanta, Georgia. So, welcome to my channel. I don't know if I said that in the beginning already, but welcome to my channel. I have posted videos to this channel before, but I ultimately deleted them because the timing just didn't feel right. And so over this weekend, I guess God dropped it in my spirit, like, girl, give it another shot. So here I am. I, full transparency, had no intentions of, welcome to Atlanta, you hear the sirens in the background. I had no intentions of doing a YouTube video this morning, but I woke up and it was in my spirit, and I was like, all right, let's do it, right? What do we have to lose? So earlier this year, I relocated to Atlanta, Georgia. I had lived in Raleigh for a year prior to that, and then before that I had lived in Charlotte, North Carolina for several years. Loved Charlotte. Like, Charlotte was, it was like that perfect balance for me. Absolutely loved it. But what I ultimately found was I had kind of become a little bit too comfortable in Charlotte. Like, I wasn't really stepping outside of my comfort zone. I was like in the same routine. Like, it just I felt like being in Charlotte wasn't going to get me to the next phase and point of my life. And so ultimately, I decided that I wanted to try something new. And so one of the biggest things that's important to me is like proximity to my mom, my family, all the things. And so I was like, let me give Raleigh, North Carolina a try. They have a lot of corporations. It's still close to family. It checks all the boxes. Raleigh was good for a period in my life where I needed to heal, right? Where I needed to just focus on myself because I had been in a relationship that I had ended while I was in Charlotte. I was like, let me just focus on myself while in Raleigh. So Raleigh was good for that, right? It was the perfect city for that. But then as it was time to renew my lease, I was like, I don't know if this is for me. And so I had ultimately got a new job that would allow me to be able to move basically anywhere that I wanted to in the United States of America, right? And so Atlanta had always been on my list. When I graduated college, wanted to live in Charlotte, but took a few detours. After graduating college, ended up living in like Maryland for a little bit, then finally going to Charlotte. But Atlanta had always been on my list. Those that know me, my dad had lived here when I was in college. He's buried here. He's now deceased. And so it was just one of those places that was always on my list. And so as the opportunity came up for me to move again, I knew I didn't want to go back to Charlotte. I actually had a job offer in the DMV area, and baby, I am glad that I did not take it because energy is everything. The climate, everything that's going on right now, a little bit crazy. Don't want to get into politics right now, but it is crazy. So I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to go back to the DMV area. So I ended up declining that job offer and accepted the job that allowed me to be any and everywhere. And I was like, I'm gonna go to the A. You know what I mean? The cost of living here isn't as cheap as it used to be, but in comparison to the DMV area, I knew my money would go a lot further. So moved to the Atlanta area. Full transparency, moved outside of the perimeter just to kind of see, because when I lived in Charlotte, I had owned homes. Like, I had built homes, lived in homes, all the things. And I knew ultimately that's too what I wanted to get back to. Like, I didn't want to continue to rent. And listen, I'm not here to tussle with y'all about the pros and cons of renting. I'm just saying what works for me, right? So I lived outside of the perimeter for a little bit because I was like, let me see, how often I'm in the city, what it's like for me, X, Y, and Z. So I lived outside of the perimeter when I first got here, and I was damn near in the city like every weekend. When I tell you every weekend, like in the city, like Midtown, downtown, basketball games, like I was just in Buckhead. Like, I had been all over the city, everywhere but where I was living. So I ultimately decided, okay, I definitely need to purchase something. And I'm not gonna lie, like, finding what area I wanted to live at or live in was truly a difficult decision. But what I will say is that there's power in the tongue, right? Like, be careful what you put out into the universe. Like, if you want it, speak it, basically. And I say that because when I was first moving to Atlanta and I was trying to find like where I wanted to rent, one of the areas that I had looked at, um, I am now living in. Like, the house that I'm sitting in right now, I purchased a couple of months ago, and it is the town or the area where I had said very early on when people are like, "Oh, you're moving to Atlanta. Where do you want to be?" I'm in that location. So, definitely manifested where I am now. So yeah, so moved outside of the perimeter, and I was just in the city so much. I was like, I cannot keep putting all these miles on my car. And then there were also a lot of issues going on with the rental property that I had. And so I just ultimately decided, okay, it's time for me to start searching, start looking for a new home. Oh, I left out a key factor. How about I moved to Atlanta and got another job? God, it's so good. Like, it's just so crazy though. And I'll do another video on this, on like obedience. And when you just step out on faith, like, it is amazing the doors that will open for you. But I, had accepted that job in 2024. Yeah, end of 2024. It was like November 2024 when I started, decided to move to Atlanta, and I got a new job offer in March, April of 2025. So, listen, since I've been here, God has just opened so many doors for me, and I am so thankful. Like, I feel like that's your confirmation, right? Because sometimes as you're making these decisions, you do second guess yourself, and you just don't know, like, what is the future hold for me. And what I can say is that moving here has truly been the best decision for me. So, yeah, basically, I realized that being outside of the perimeter just wasn't going to work for me, because it was taking me like 30-45 minutes to get everywhere. And if you know Atlanta, Atlanta's traffic is crazy. And so hired a real estate agent, and I ultimately found the townhome that I purchased that I am living in now. Again, answered prayers. I am in a more convenient location. Like, it's just, I couldn't have asked for a better situation. And God is so good, right? Just amazing. But a part of the reason too why I wanted to share some of my journey and my move to Atlanta, because I talked about it a few minutes ago. Obedience is so important, stepping out of faith and just coming out of your comfort zone. Like, I was telling my therapist, because yeah, your girl, listen, I don't care how good life is, bad, and whatever. Have you a therapist on speed dial? Yeah, you don't have to go on a weekly basis. Whatever cadence works for you, do it, boo. However, I am a very, very big advocate for therapy. And so I was telling my therapist just a couple of weeks ago, I was like, it is crazy how much my life has changed within a year. And honestly, I believe it all started with me making the decision to leave Charlotte. My apologies. I think someone's at my front door, but yeah, so it's just, obedience is just so important. And it all started with my decision to leave Charlotte, step out of my comfort zone, be in a bit of an uncomfortable situation for a year. That was definitely Raleigh. But listen, I was doing all the things like that I had never done before when I moved to Raleigh. Uh, Solo traveling. I started doing like yoga, really focusing on my health, my healing, therapy, just all the things. So I always say like Raleigh was my season of pause and reflection, because Atlanta's been like go, 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 right? But in the best of ways. Like, I mean, I've been here less than a year. I've moved twice. The first time was into the rental home, this time into the home that I purchased. But God's timing is so great, and I'm just forever grateful and thankful. So I just want to thank you for taking the time to tune into my channel. I'm trying to figure out what this is gonna look like. I'm not gonna lie, I feel real comfortable sitting in my cozy corner chair with my little fake olive tree that you might be able to see off in the side. I'm gonna work on the lighting. Um, but I'm trying to figure out what this channel is going to look like. And I say that because I'm also in a season of my life where I want to enjoy the moment. But I do definitely feel that God has given me a story that I need to share and get out there. So I don't know if I necessarily want to do like a day in the life of, or if I want to just come here, sit in my nice, comfy, cozy chair and chit chat with you all and hopefully just share some of my life story so that it inspires you. We are definitely in some interesting times, some trying times, and I feel like we just all need like inspiration. And so I think ultimately that's what I'm hoping that I can provide. So I don't know, maybe we'll call this like the girl chronicles or the chair chronicles. Listen, I don't know what we're gonna call it, but again, hopefully within these few minutes I'm able to just share some inspiration based off of my experiences and life and all the things. So yeah, so if you have any questions about moving to Atlanta, the Atlanta area, feel free to comment. Definitely, subscribe, like, do all the things for my channel. But again, if you have any questions about the Atlanta area, any questions about stepping out on faith, what that looks like for me, I definitely plan to do some more videos because, again, like my life looks completely different in all the best way possible, and I am just so thankful to God. But yeah, thanks for tuning in.